Is it about affordable home finance that is equivalent to running upstairs, right? So the first thing is it's small ticket size. So the average ticket size of Aavas Aptus is about 10 lakh rupees, right? The average ticket size of HDFC is 30 lakh rupees, right? So when you have to deal with many small individual borrowers, imagine what will happen. For each borrower, you'll have to do credit checks. For each borrower, you will have to go and do all this surrogate checking and all this borrower, checking their credit, their history about their business and where they stay and so on. For each borrower, you're going to do it, right? So not only is it a small ticket size, it is also a lot of high touch. That means you'll have to make multiple visits to this to the place of the borrower to make sure that whatever he is saying is true, right? These are self-employed borrowers. So Ankit showed that number, right? In India, 71% of the people are self-employed, right? Property is a state subject. So every state, the property laws change, right? So what documents are needed for registration in one state is different from the documents needed in a different state. So you have to adapt your processes to each state as you go along, and you're dealing with new to credit borrowers. So when you give loan to new to credit people, you also have to teach them that, look, you have to make monthly payments every month, right? You can't afford to take it easy one month, right? And so you have to teach them about discipline, the importance of discipline, right? And this is not a repeat purchase product. So once you buy a house, you're probably not going to buy another house for another 10-15 years, right? So all of this, if you put together, right, this is equivalent to running upstairs. It is so difficult that an HDFC it just cannot think of entering this. It is very difficult. Okay, and I'll give you now, I'm going to give you empirical numbers to prove that.
Vikas, before you go there, if you can spend more time on balance transfer, I think some
Ah,
of our
right.
audience might not be fully aware of that.
Okay, sorry about that, Ankit. So balance transfer means that so let's say you have a loan with Avas, right? And you have been paying your EMIs. You're a very good borrower. You keep paying your uh, EMIs to Avas every month. So after 3 years, you will have a very good credit score in the credit bureau. Now what will happen is the guys like HDFC or LIC Housing Finance or Punjab National, uh, I forget the name. So that HFC, they can come to
PNB
you,
Housing Finance.
PNB Housing Finance. So they will come to you and say, okay, why don't you transfer your balance to our HFC, right? So this is like a loss to Avas or Aptus or anyone. So whenever there is a balance transfer out, it is like you have to now find another customer. Okay, so this is like you put together all these things. It is a very difficult niche to operate in.
Yeah, and it is easy for a customer to shift from an Aavas to an HDFC just by the sheer number of or the rate of interest. So like Aavas lends at somewhere around say 13-14%, and an HDFC would be lending at somewhere around 7 to 8%. Right.
Great.
So if, for example, if I am someone who has taken a affordable housing finance loan and 1 साल 2 साल तक मैंने ईएमआई भर दिया, उसके बाद मेरे पास एचडीएफसी का कोई आता है, तो it will be very tempting for me to shift to that. So that is why running upstairs, which Vikas is saying, is so important here. So they are always at their toes to stop that number, as in stop those loans to get transferred to the big guys. And how do they manage that? That I think Vikas will cover in the subsequent slides. Yeah.
So I'll just show you the numbers. Okay. So I have listed down these HDFC, Avas, Aptus, Home First Finance. Okay. And there is a cost of borrowing. So you can see how low HDFC's cost of borrowing is, 5.77%, right? Versus 6.8 and 7.7 and so on. Then This is the average loan assets that they have given out in FY22 per employee, right? When I divide the average loan assets per employee, it comes to like 20.4 crores for HDFC. The corresponding number for Aavas is like 0.3 crores and 0.5 for Aptus and 1.3, right? You'll also think of the branch, loan assets per branch, which is like 110 crores disbursed per branch, right? Versus 5 crores for Aavas, 5 crores for Aptus, and so on, 12 crores for Home First. So you can see that the size of the ticket is now really beginning to show. So HDFC is a very, very efficient animal when it comes to lending large ticket size loans. It can do a lot of it. It can do a lot of it in towns, in cities. But when it comes to beyond the top 60 cities, right? They can't compete with Avas and Aptus because now the efficiencies will just fall off the cliff. Here, Avas, Aptus, and Home First, are like super efficient when it comes to lending in the below the top five tier cities, right? You can see how the employee and other expenses is so low in HDFC and very high in Avas. So what happens because of this, right? So what happens because of this is these guys will grow, so Awas, for example, started in Rajasthan, and then they've been slowly growing into Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Gujarat, and then now they're coming south to Karnataka, and they have set up branches in Orissa and so on, right? So the expansion into other states will take more time. Okay. Same for Aptus. Aptus started in Tamil Nadu, and then they've been growing in from Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana. And now they've also entered Orissa. So, so the growth is like in contiguous states, right? Because this is a high touch segment, and you need to set up branches. It is a very branch intensive business. So you need to set up new branches and let those branches mature, and then you will go for the next stage of expansion and so on. Okay. Now, this